What narcissists need the most? Do you really need to ask that question? There are two things, all right? There are two things that they need. What they want is a whole nother question, but we're not going to be answering this today. What they want, all right? What they want, two things. Two things is all they want. I'm going to be talking about this in the video. Hello and welcome back. I hope that you're all doing really well. So today we're going to be talking about what the narcissist needs the most in their life, all right? What it is that they need. They want a whole host of things. They want your life force energy, they want your time, they want your emotion. And yeah, they get that, but they take that. It's not like you willingly give it, but there's two things that they really need, and they will stop at nothing to get this. All right, and this is what we're going to be talking about in the video. Narcissists need two things for their survival, and that is power and attention. All right, they need your attention because they need that focus, they need your energy, and they need your attention because it makes them feel good. It's about supplying their ego. Our ego. Okay, let's just explain what the ego is and why the narcissist is actually dysfunctional. So our ego is there in some cases to protect us, but also to ensure our survival. So it's linked to our instincts as well. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but when it is dysfunctional, it can be, because what it does do is it dysregulates the way that you perceive outside stimuli, the way that you perceive emotion, social situation, things that are said. Now, the way that it becomes dysfunctional is from childhood. Our ego develops within childhood, aged between 7 years and upwards. So if there is something that traumatic that has happened, it will create a dysfunctional ego. But for when we're looking at the narcissist in this case, they would have known quite early on from their caregiver or their parents that they are quite not good enough as they are. So they had to develop this ulterior kind of personality or identity so that they can please their parents. Every child wants to get their parents' unconditional love or their attention. So the narcissist learned that that's what they need to do. So they need to alter who they are because they're not good enough as the way that they are. So they then developed this ulterior kind of personality or person. This is where the ego has become dysfunctional, because what they have done is they've put up these big barriers to protect themselves. So when you do things like that, particularly in childhood, you then get further away from who you authentically are. You don't know who you are. So your identity, okay, doesn't develop in a healthy way. So your understanding of who you are in the world around you becomes rather skewed. This isn't corrected. So as they go into adulthood, this is exactly what they do. Think about it. They mirror you. They obsess over you. They put you on a pedestal. All right. So this is all perceived. This is all fantasy, illusion. Basically, it's called fantasy thinking in psychology. So this is what they do. So they don't see things the same way that me or you would do. They see this through the lens of the fantasy because it suits them. It suits their needs. This is what they want. So when they're doing this, they then expect that from you. So that's why the attention, that's why your focus, that's why you giving all of your emotion to please this person is always going to be there. It doesn't matter how much you give and how much you don't give, they're still going to want that same amount. There's an expectation of you to do that. So this is why they will manipulate situations and people so that it provides them that need to be met. And it's really as simple as that. This is what they're looking for. It is not anything else. It's really about this unmet childhood wound that they carry. And they're not really aware of it either, because if they were, they would be able to correct it or it would be able to get better over time, but it doesn't. That's not what happens here. they continue on this. And you see, when somebody lets them down, or they perceive that somebody lets them down, or they don't behave in the way that they want them to, they then develop this anger and this hatred towards that person, which many of you probably have experienced. And so they withdraw. So this is when the discard, you know, and the devalue basically happens. They perceive that you have let them down in some way, so they grow bored and they've got to look for other people to be able to supply them with that need. Because it's all about conforming. If you're supplying the narcissist with attention, you're conforming. You're doing what they want you to do. But what they don't realize is other people have their own needs and wants. Other people have their own way of doing things, other ways of thinking. But because the narcissist is not able to have empathy or to experience empathy, they can't do that. So can you see where the problems lie here? They can't do that. They can't understand that other people have things that they need and they want, which is why the narcissist is very entitled and they have this expectation of you. It doesn't matter how much you give, they're going to still want this over and over again. So that's why attention for them is very, very important. It is something that they completely need to have all the time. They're not able to self-soothe, so they're not able to process and perceive the information or emotional information that they are getting. And what they do is this is not seen in a healthy way, or it's skewed because of their ego processes, because of this defense mechanism that they've got. They're not able to see that actually when someone is giving them love, compassion, attention, unconditional love, they don't see it as that. They feel it for that moment. But remember, they're really impulsive. So they're not seeing it, they're not understanding that, okay, this is someone who's giving it, you can't give it all the time. They expect it all the time. So this is where the difference comes in, is that they see it as something that someone should give all the time, like you're like this battery pack that should be supplying them with energy all the time. They don't realize that actually, you know, at some point you've got to give something back. They don't have the bandwidth to understand that. There is an expectation. They don't have that emotional connection to you. So it doesn't matter whether you're getting tired or whether you're feeling drained, whether you're feeling awful or not well within yourself. They don't see that. They don't care. This is not within their emotional remit to understand that, which is why they're expecting more and more, which is why when you don't give them that energy, when you don't give that emotional regard, they can't understand why. In their mind, you're letting them down. So they are not going to see it from your point of view, even though you try to explain it to them, even though you try to help them to see it, but they don't see it in that way. Because of this expectation, because of this fantastical thinking that they have. They don't see it in that way. And this is because of the dysfunctional ego processes. The other thing that the narcissist really needs in their life is power. Okay, they've got to feel like they are better, like they are number one. Because if you're number one, again, you're getting all the attention. And that is what is important here, is so that they can get that attention from you. This is about getting that energy. All right, when you have all the attention of everyone around you, from your partner, you feel good. It feels really good, but they want this all the time because they can't self-regulate. So they can't regulate their emotions. They want it like to happen every day, all day long. Because they can't understand this, because of their emotional because of their emotional understanding, the way that they perceive what's going on around them isn't healthy. Again, it's because of the ego processes that were maladaptive within childhood, which is why they are needing this. They see it as like they didn't get something in childhood. So they believe that the world owes them a living. They believe that they can get this from other people. They're not understanding that actually causing this chaos, this drama, these wants, these needs, is depleting you of your energy and making you feel awful. They don't get it and they don't want to. You know why they don't want to? It's because they're getting their needs met. So why would they want to change what is happening? And you see, when, like I said before, like when you let them down, when you don't give them what it is that they want, they can't handle it. They can't cope because they feel like you are letting them down. So for them, this is an injury. All right, this is an injury. they're impulsive, they can't self-regulate. So this is why you become so depleted. This is why it takes you time to get over this person. This is why you have the trauma bond to this person, because there is these ups and downs. You know, how is it that in these relationships there are these ups and downs? There isn't just this one kind of safe, secure kind of relationship or interaction with one another. There's always that you've got to be giving something, you've got to be doing something, you've got to be making that person feel okay, because they can't do any of this for themselves, so they're expecting others to do it for them. And this doesn't stop. It doesn't mean just because they've moved on and they're with someone new and someone else is doing that for them. Remember, this is all just for a short amount of time. This doesn't heal, this doesn't get better, because they have this instability, this inability to be able to regulate their emotions, to be able to perceive, you know, emotional validity. They're not able to understand social cues. They don't get any of that. So for them, it's something that you need to provide. Whoever is around them, whether it's your partner, whether it's your family, whether it's work colleagues, whether it's friends, whoever it is, they expect this. And this is the dysfunction. This isn't normal. This is not healthy. So in these relationships, this is why you feel so depleted. This is why you have no energy. This is why you don't feel yourself when you leave. And you're attached onto this person because you know that they're capable. They showed you at the beginning. But it doesn't mean that they can continue that. It was a fantasy. It was an illusion. It wasn't who they are. So my friends, I really hope that this video helps. I really hope that this helps, so that you can understand that actually the processes that are going on here, so that you don't feel like you have let this person down, like you feel like there's something more that you could have done. There isn't. This is who they are, and this is how they will remain. So if you are someone who is facing this right now, please know that I do one-to-one consultations. Please see the description box below. Alternatively, I do have a mentorship program which will help to level up your healing journey. And for those of you who are done living small and want something more, this is the mentorship for you. So please see the description box below. And also I do have the journal club. If you're interested in joining, please see the description box below. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.